For 3 decades, the rhythm of The Tonight Show never changed. The blue curtain opened, Johnny Carson glided to center stage, delivered a razor-sharp monologue, and settled behind the desk like it was a throne. To viewers at home, it felt smooth, safe, and perfectly controlled. Backstage, it was often anything but. Producers quietly swapped nervous glances. Pages watched the green room, like hawks. Executives hovered just off camera. The real wildcard wasn't Johnny. It was the guests stumbling out from behind the curtain in various altered states. Johnny could spot it in seconds. One former producer recalled, "Drunk, high, wired." He knew immediately. The show even had quiet warning codes. If Carson adjusted his tie while introducing someone, staff knew the guest wasn't entirely sober. If he straightened his blue note cards twice, the director was told to keep the camera work simple and safe. The pressure didn't help. A great spot with Carson could make a career. A bad one could follow a performer for years. With a fully stocked greenroom bar, permissive 70s drug culture, and no pre-approved talking points to hide behind, plenty of stars reached for chemical courage before walking into 15 million living rooms. Here are 7 of the most notorious guests who sat down with Johnny while clearly not quite themselves, and how he somehow kept the show from flying off the rails. 1. George Carlin, the functioning stoner. By the early 70s, Carlin had reinvented himself as a long-haired counterculture philosopher comic, and the weed was part of the package. Crew members remember the slightly glazed eyes and lazy grin, but also how sharp he stayed. Johnny never let him guest host, worried about reliability, but loved him as a guest. He'd toss Carlin a topic, then sit back as George spun stoned, brilliant stream of consciousness riffs that viewers adored. 2. Richard Pryor, genius on the edge. Pryor's Tonight's Show appearances could swing from breathtakingly funny to deeply worrying in a single segment. Some nights he was focused and electric. Others his cocaine use showed through in scattered tangents and sudden mood shifts. Carson treated him gently, redirecting when things got too strange, cutting to commercial when needed, and off-camera quietly checking in through friends because he genuinely feared Pryor might self-destruct. 3. Truman Capote, when it stopped being funny. Capote's 1980 appearance has gone down as a cautionary tale. So slurred and sedated he could barely be understood. He nodded off mid-con conversation and left the control room scrambling. Johnny simplified his questions and hurried the segment along, but backstage he was livid. Capote was effectively banned after that night. One of the rare guests Carson refused to have back. For Cheech and Chong. Exactly what you expected. With them, there was no mystery. Their whole act revolved around being perpetually stoned. And Johnny leaned into it. He played the straight square host while they rambled and giggled, raising his eyebrows at the camera as if to say, yes, they're really like this. It wasn't damage control. It was the bit, and everyone, including the audience, was in on the joke. 5. Peter Fonda, lost in space and time. Promoting Easy Rider era projects. Fonda once sat down looking, as one crew member put it, like he just stepped out of a different dimension. Suspected to be on LSD, he drifted from movie talk into rambling theories about time folding in on itself. After a few minutes of cosmic word salad, Carson quietly signaled for an early commercial and brought out the next guest. 6. Oliver Reed. When intoxication turned hostile, Reed arrived already drunk and kept escalating. He interrupted, shouted, and at one point leapt up to demonstrate a fighting stance, alarming the crew. Carson's demeanor shifted from amused to firm. He cut Reed off, shortened the interview, and made it clear afterward the British actor would not be invited back. Aggression was Johnny's hard line. 7. Sammy Davis Jr. supercharged professionalism. Davis's legendary 1974 appearance had everyone whispering. He talked at hyperspeed, bounced in his chair, and seemed dialed up several notches beyond his usual high energy. Classic mid-70s coke rumors territory. But unlike the disasters, Sammy never lost control. He told great stories, hit every cue, and dazzled the room. Off camera, Johnny just joked he felt tired from watching him and left it at that. In every case, Carson's job was the same. Protect the show, protect the guest, and keep America entertained. Even when the person sitting next to him was high as a kite.